Alright, hi guys, welcome back to VexHexGames. Today what we're going to be doing is playing through a little bit of Turmoil. Now I really like this game. I find this game is kind of a good stress relief, very peaceful, very relaxing, even though I know it drives some people crazy with the amount of stress that it can kind of incur. One of the things that really attracted me to this game is for the main campaign, when you're playing on normal mode, all of the different environments that you can kind of search for oil and different gas deposits in. I thought it was really cool world building. I like the interactions with the little characters in between drilling for oil, and I think it's kind of a really neat game. It was something that got introduced to me by watching Dangerously Funny on YouTube play it, and I figured, you know what, let's try it out. Now I have already beaten the main campaign on normal mode, so now all that's kind of left for me is to do hard mode or the DLC games. But today, to give you kind of a tutorial into it, we're just going to check out what a single game looks like. Now, as you progress through the campaign, you will unlock these different areas like I was talking about earlier. Personally, for today, I'm going to go ahead and pick the snow region because that's one of my favorites. I think it's really neat with the different varieties that it kind of gives you as far as rock and gas elements that you have to deal with and kind of figure out how to work with. I'm just going to go ahead and change the oil up here so it's a little more evenly balanced. Okay, so when you start off with a game, originally in the very beginning of the campaign, you will have dowsers, which are these little people who are hired to kind of find oil for you. And as they're kind of set off, your job is to figure out where exactly in the ground the oil deposits are. Once you've been able to locate them, like I found this one using a scanner, then you can plop down an oil rig and send a pipeline through to the oil. After you've got your oil rig and your pipeline set up, then the next thing you want to do is to plop down some horses who can go and pick up the oil for you in their wagons and transport it to either the left or right bank. The left and the right bank are competing for your money and for your attention. Their prices will change throughout the game as it goes. So right now, left ink's price is going down, and right ink's price will probably start to go up relatively soon. It's your job as the oil searcher and prospector, so to speak, to kind of figure out which company is working more so in your favor. So when one drops, you want to send your horses over to the other corporation to get the most bang for your buck. When their prices go down, then you send your horses over to the left one. As the campaign goes on, you'll be able to unlock gas deposits, which, if you send pipelines through, they'll be able to skyrocket your prices for one company, depending on which company you have connected to that gas region. An important thing to note is that your pipelines cannot cross over each other. They have to either go around each other completely or they have to connect to these little joints. So these two are connected by this one joint down here, which is in the oil deposit itself. You can also upgrade your horses as the campaign goes on to have not only bigger wagons but also faster speed. This will help you prevent spills. If one of your oil rigs starts having a spillage, it'll show a little timer that shows you how long until the spill happens, or until it's fully finished, and at the very end of the game you will receive fines based on your spillage. After dowsers, I think the next thing that you unlock in the game for campaign mode are your moles. Moles are kind of interesting because they will search for random triangle tiles to kind of check things out so you can kind of scope out if you have a deposit here or there. But more often than not, if you're like me, you'll probably like to use scanners because they cover more ground. Yes, they're more expensive because they scale, the price of them scales to the amount of area that you're searching through, but I find them more reliable. You'll also see that your profits will change too as you're making money off of it. I found another oil deposit, so I'm going to go ahead and plop down an oil rig, connect a pipeline, and throw down an extra horse. Now, some people don't like to scan the bottom of the map until they scan the top of it, but honestly it's up to you, however you want to go about searching for oil. Personally, I like doing kind of the zigzag pattern and then filling in the gaps once I'm done, but I get that that doesn't work for everybody. As you progress too, you can also upgrade your pipes, which means that they will suck the oil up out of the ground at a much faster rate. To make up for that, you also want to make sure that you've got the horses who are ready to be able to catch that oil and prevent any kind of spillage, meaning that you want to upgrade them so they move faster and have more wagon room to be able to catch it. Let's say that you're dangerously close to spilling. You can also build a silo and tell your horses just to drop the oil off into a silo in case you're not happy with your prices. So I see that right now over here at Left Ink, I'm at 62 cents and I'm not too happy with that. I kind of want to save up the oil until it gets a little bit higher. So I'm going to lower my horse count, which is this number here above it, down to 0. So that way all my horses can start filling up the silo. Then I'm going to tell the horses to change it on over and bring it over to Right Ink because I see that we are now above 60 cents and out of the worry zone. And while my horses are doing that, I'm going to start slapping down some more scanners and checking for other deposits. I know I have these 2 gas ranges here, but I'm going to avoid them for now because I think my prices are pretty good at over $1. I'm going to plop down another oil rig. So that way I can start sucking out the oil from these 2. Now these gray areas are rocky areas. You can only drill through them if you upgrade your oil rigs by spending $750. I'm going to hold off on that for right now though because I think I can manage a way to get around the rocks so that way I don't have to spend that kind of money. I'm probably not going to get to the gas ranges before the time runs out, but that's okay because like I talked about earlier, I'm not particularly the type of Turmoil gamer who cares about them, even though I know that they could help me in the long run. For me, I'm all about the oil. You can also only put oil rigs down wherever you have space. So I didn't exactly plan out this layout over here too well, because now I don't have room to fit another oil rig down to help speed up this process with this deposit down here. But I think I'm doing pretty okay at over 20 grand. And if need be, after this deposit is done, then I could always rope the line through to this gas deposit here. You don't want to have your gas deposit go up through your oil deposit while it still has oil in it, because then it'll wind up wasting the resources and it won't channel through correctly. You also have to build a pipeline from one of your oil rigs over to either this X here for Left Ink or this X over here for Right Ink, depending on which one you want to send the gas speed up ability to. When you build a pipeline from an oil rig through a gas line up to the ink, you're going to want to make sure that you close that rig, meaning the gas won't escape through the top of these rigs here. that's one of the really neat things about this game, is that there's just so much to keep track of, which is why it can be very stressful for people. But for me, as just a casual player, I'm not too concerned about it. There are definitely ways to maximize your gameplay to the full advantage of making profits, but I've never been that kind of player. Just gonna do a few last minute scans just to make sure that I'm not missing any other deposits hidden around anywhere. They vary in size, so sometimes it's really hard when you miss an oil deposit that's, say, it's about this tiny. It might be hidden away from us. Now I'm going to go ahead and speed things along a little bit, because I can sense that I'm near the end of the game. I've depleted one deposit and I'm just waiting on 2 more. And because I can tell that my prices are starting to drop, that's why I've decided to go after the gas ranges now. Oh, and I missed one right there. Oh, what a shame. Now that I've gone through the trouble of that, I realize now, looking back, that there's no more oil to kind of get. So this price increase would have been for nothing, but the price is also not going up as much as I would have liked it. Typically, I try to shoot for over $1.40 when using the gas deposits, and there was just no way that it was going to get to that. But at least I'll still get the bonus for depleting all of the gas deposits here in the ground. Alright, and with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the lease a little bit early. I won't get any money off of that, but it's okay. So now October becomes the final month instead of December. Now we're going to watch all the pieces of the ground that was left to excavate fall away. And we'll see that I didn't miss any. Cool. So there was no spillage, which was awesome, and I got all of the bonuses. Bonus for early withdrawal, bonus for all oil depleted, bonus for all gas depleted, and bonus for all oil sold. With a grand total of 44,000. So, this is Turmoil. If you guys are interested, please check it out. It's available on Steam. It's really cool. And who knows, maybe in the next video I'll show off what the campaign looks like. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment if you want to share kind of your take on Turmoil and things that have worked for you in the past. Have a great day, guys, and I'll see you later.